Hey, I'm Chris with Tampa Hillsborough County Public Library, and this person next to me, virtually next to me, is Tanisha. Hi, Tanisha.
Hi, good afternoon, Chris. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I am ready to talk
Oh,
about social media management tools. So I'll go
excellent.
ahead and take it from here. Thank you, Chris. All right, so we are going to dive right into our topic today. It's a really fun one. It's also a very useful one, especially if you are running a business or building a personal brand. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera and let's go ahead and dive right in. So, of course, we always start off our programs with a book or resource shout out. Today's resource that I am shouting out is LinkedIn Learning. You probably knew it in the past as lynda.com, but they were acquired by LinkedIn and it's now LinkedIn Learning. This is free and accessible with your library card. The video that I am suggesting for you is personal branding on social media. Runs about 37 minutes. It's a great video just to teach you a little bit about how to use social media to promote yourself. So if you want to access that, if you go to the link that's provided there, hcplc.org/research, it is available for you to see. So let's go ahead and dive right in. What are social media management tools? They are platforms that manage several aspects of the social media experience. So what does that mean? That means that these platforms allow you to schedule posts, so you can go ahead and compose and schedule them in advance. You can manage several platforms in one place. So let's say that you had a Twitter account, a Facebook account, an Instagram account. You can manage all of your different social media platforms in one place. You could also measure engagement. So if you're trying to figure out how many people are visiting your page, how many people are mentioning you, how many people are tagging you, how many people are liking your posts, like that's it. These management tools are a great way to do that. You can also monitor trends. And you can also, and this is very important, especially with the more visual social media platforms, you can create some really awesome images and graphics. So we're going to talk a little bit more about those aspects later. Some examples of social media management tools. So the first three that I highlighted here are Buffer, Hootsuite, and Sprout Social. So those three really focus in on that scheduling and the scheduling, monitoring trends, and measuring engagement. So those are the ones that are really going to help you manage your social media accounts. So the last three that I mentioned there, which are Canva, Adobe Spark, and Unsplash, are more graphic design focused platforms. So with Canva and Adobe Spark, you can create some really cool and awesome graphics. You could do infographics. You can do, like, if you're on Instagram, you see those little tiles with like the motivational speeches, motivational quotes, things like that. And then Unsplash is a really great free resource for stock photos. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the cost here in just a little bit, but you might also be asking yourself, why do I need any of this? Like, what's the point of these social media management tools? Do I need them personally? Social media management tools are for businesses that are managing multiple aspects of social media platforms. So if, let's say, you have a restaurant and your restaurant has an Instagram page and a Facebook page, you would use a social media management tool like Buffer or Hootsuite to schedule posts, to engage with people, to reply back to comments. You could use it in that way. They are also very useful. So it's not only for business owners, it's also very useful if you are trying to build a personal brand. So let's say you started your own like lifestyle blog, or you started your own recipe page or something like that. You could use these social media management tools to engage with other people and to spread the word about your personal blog or your recipe book or whatever you want. So the benefits of using social media management tools. Like I mentioned before, it gives you the opportunity to manage multiple social media accounts in one place. So this is so you don't have to manage multiple logins, you don't have to manage multiple platforms. You don't have to like know the ins and out of each one. It's a great way. It's basically like a dashboard for all of your social media accounts, like in one place. You can take a broad look at all of them in one place. You can also schedule posts ahead of time. This is really big, especially if you're trying to build engagement. One of the tips of building a social media platform, or like building your business or something like that, is making sure that you stay engaged with your customers. So scheduling those posts ahead of time. Like, let's say you want a post to go out at 6:30 a.m. So when people first wake up, they see it. Like, you don't have to be on Facebook at 6:30 a.m. writing that post. It'll just automatically go out. Another great thing is analytics. So what do we mean by analytics? That's looking at how many people are liking your page. That's also looking at how many likes, like percentages of likes that you got this week versus last week, to see if your engagement is going up, if your engagement is going down. It's also taking a look at, looking at all those, just the analytics of how your page is. What else? So staying on top of social media trends. This is big. So you're able to see what's currently trending at the moment. So let's say like there's a new like fad pair of jeans that just came out, or a celebrity just announced that they're having a baby, and maybe you sell a baby clothing goods store. So you can say, hey, did you hear so-and-so is pregnant? If you want to look at other baby clothes, go here to look at them. So you're able to stay on top of social media trends. With some of the graphic design tools that I mentioned, you're able to make professional level graphics and photos. This is also really big, especially on a visual platform like Instagram. You want to have those professional looking graphics and photos to draw people into your page, to engage with you, to like what you have. So that's also really important too. And so you might be asking yourself, okay, well, when do we get to actually see these platforms? When do I get to take a look at how they work? Well, as is the case with most things that are involved with business, most of these platforms are paid platforms. So you do have to pay for the full use. Some of them may have what we call freemium benefits, which means that you can make a basic account and do very, very basic things. But a lot of them you do have to pay to use. Now, one that I would like to show to you, just to give you an idea, there's one free one, and that is Unsplash. And let me come out of here, and let's hop over to Unsplash. So as I mentioned before, Unsplash is a free stock photo site. So if you're looking for stock photos, you might have heard of Getty, iStock, places like that. Those are all paid sites. But if you would like a free, a place to look for free stock photos, Unsplash is a great place to go. I've used Unsplash in the past to look for graphics for programs that I've done. So it's a very useful platform. So let's say you wanted to make a social media post for Memorial Day. So you can see here, as we are looking, all of these pictures that have to do with Memorial Day. So all of these are free to use. As always, when you're using creative art that other people have made, it's always nice to credit that person. And one of the things I like about Unsplash is when you download an item, like we do an example here, it automatically pops up with the link to the to the photographer's work. So all I had to do is copy that, and I can put that at the bottom of the picture so that people know who made it. But it is a free site. These are free stock images, so you are able to use them. To the PowerPoint. So one of the reasons why there are no demos, as I mentioned before, is that these are paid. So I would have to pay and create social media accounts to show you guys how they work. A couple of last minute thoughts about these, about social media management tools. These tools are not a replacement for engagement. So these are not set and forget tools. The main thing about social media is engagement. So if you are going to establish a social media account for your business or for your own personal brand, make sure that you are actively using it and actively engaging with people. It's also very important to have a social media strategy. So for any business, and if you are building a personal brand that is kind of like a business, make sure that you have a strategy of how you want to approach social media. So like, for example, if you have a food blog, you probably want to be on Instagram so that you could take pictures of, show pictures of the food that you're making, things like that. A quick shout out to one of a county resource. We do have what's called the Entrepreneurial Collaborative Center here in Hillsborough County that has awesome events and programs geared towards small business owners. And even some of the programs are relevant for people trying to build a personal brand. So I would definitely check them out if you have more questions about the business aspect of building a social media account. They definitely are very knowledgeable and can help you out with that. Also, of course, like with any tech topic, make sure your platforms are secure. So make sure you're using those secure passwords. Make sure that, that if you do have multiple people managing your social media, that they know the expectations, that they're not sharing the passwords or anything, because of course that can go sideways, that can go wrong very fast. And last but not least, do your research. So like I mentioned before, there are a lot of things involved with social media. There's a lot of ins and outs, especially if you're establishing social media for business. So do your research and see which platform will work best for you, which platform is best in investing your money in. Do you need a social media management tool? These are very important things to look at. And so now I am going to open things up for questions. Let me pop back on camera here. And Chris, let me know if there are any questions.
Yes, going back, you mentioned the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. I posted the link to that in the chat section. So if anyone would like to either copy it or check that out, it's there. But yeah, like Tanisha said, it's time for questions. We do have some questions right now. Someone's wondering if we offer any WordPress courses.
So we do not offer as the library WordPress classes. However, our resource that I shouted out earlier, LinkedIn Learning, has WordPress courses. I have used LinkedIn Learning personally for a lot of things. I used it to learn iMovie. I used it to learn some of the Adobe Creative Cloud. It's a very useful resource. So I would definitely go to LinkedIn Learning and check that out. Remember, if you are going to access LinkedIn Learning with your library card, you have to access it through the library's website. So let me hop back to that page here and just visit this just visit that link there to get to LinkedIn Learning so that you can access it. But yes, that is a great resource. And the thing I loved about LinkedIn Learning is that you can do it on your own time. So you can watch little bite-sized videos and learn it at your own pace.
I'm also a big fan. So I posted that hcplc.org address in the chat section as well if anybody wants to copy it. Let's see, other questions. Someone was asking, can someone do this professionally, manage social media? I think you already covered that a little bit, but.
Yes, so there are, I think now, though this is a very new development, but my very younger cousin is actually getting a degree in like digital marketing, which is basically social media management. So of course, that's for most people, that's a paid position. So you can definitely hire somebody on to manage your social media. And if you do want to build that engagement, that is probably a good idea. Of course, I'm not a business owner. I don't run a business. As I shouted out, the Entrepreneurial Collaborative Center, also known as the ECC before, they could probably give you a little bit more guidance on how that aspect of it works. But there are social media managers. The library, we have dedicated staff members in our library system that do social media. Like, it's very, very important. So if you definitely want to build that engagement and you want somebody to stay on top of it, yes, that is very important.
Yes. All right. Let's see. We have one more question coming in here. I guess someone's wondering if you can use these tools to manage social platforms like TikTok and Snapchat. Is that something you know about?
So TikTok is very new. So
Yeah.
I would be surprised if the platforms caught up to that. And
Right.
Snapchat is tricky because the snaps disappear after a certain amount of time. So like, it's not something that can really be archived. So that's the other thing, and I cannot believe I left this out of the, so that's a really good question. Another aspect of these social media management tools is that you can archive your social media. So you have a digital record of everything that you did. And the problem with Snapchat, well, not a problem, but one of the benefits of Snapchat, if you want it to be more private, is that your snaps or your messages or your photos or whatever disappear after a certain amount of time. So that is a really good question, but that might be a little difficult based on how the platform works.
Sure. We had one more question come in, but you just answered it. They were asking if you can search your history or archive it. So, okay, we have one more that came in here.
And I'm sorry I missed that, but yeah, you definitely can. You definitely can archive using a lot of these platforms.
Someone's asking if we have any books with guidelines and limits of different social media platforms. That I'm not sure if we have a book on that topic. We can research it and follow up with you after the program to see if we've got something. But I think that's that's something we'll definitely take a look at and follow up with. But yeah, thank you, Chris, for those were all wonderful questions, everybody. Yeah. Thank you. Definitely. All right. Well, we've come to the end of the program here. And now we can talk about contacting the library. If you want to contact us, you can go online at hcplc.org/contact. And also on our website, you can find out about other events like this one at hcplc.org/events. And next week at the same place, same time, we have Tech Topics covering Kindle Basics. That should be a good one. All right, Tanisha, well, thank you. Thanks everyone for coming tonight. And we will see you next time.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.